Let's talk about how to motivate your team to reach their full potential. Today, I will share all the tips and the best practices for getting your team to want the very best for themselves and thus reach their full potential. Sit back. Imagine a sales team where your team members not only meet expectations, but regularly exceed them, and they're filled with enthusiasm and drive. I'm going to share the specific steps and vital behaviors all sales leaders need to have and deploy in order to inspire, motivate, and empower your sales team to reach their full potential. You're going to learn actionable steps to transform your leadership approach and create a culture of excellence that propels your team to all new heights. Now, does this sound like something you can improve on? Do you think there are some approaches that exist, but you just don't know them? Don't miss out. Your journey to outstanding leadership starts right here. The key to success lies in motivating each sales team member to strive for excellence. Do you have one? Do you have a vision? Is it in your head, but you just haven't communicated to your team, or you haven't even worked on one, haven't even thought about one? Do you have a guiding purpose of where your team can go and the impact that they can have not only in your company's future, but their own? You need to spend some time and define it. Take your time and think long and hard about creating one. I'm telling you, it is worth the effort you're going to put into this, and you need to put some effort into it. Put your thoughts of your vision into some bullet points. Feed that into my friend ChatGPT. My best friend ChatGPT will rewrite and form it for you. Get it dialed in. And yes, your vision can be, maybe even should be, but can be a bit utopian. But heck, shoot for the stars. You're much more likely to hit one if you take this approach. You're guaranteed no improvement if you don't. Take your shot. And we'll talk a bit on how to turn your vision into vastly improved attitudes, purpose, and results. Here's how it works. By consistently having a vision and then communicating your vision, you can create an environment that drives your team to excel. The phrase motivate your team to reach their full potential might initially be misrepresented due to it being broad and somewhat abstract in nature. We're going to talk about one of the first and most important parts of the how. Without context, team members could misconstrue this and just another push for increased productivity without genuine support or direction. This could potentially lead to skepticism about the intentions. What's behind the message? Is this just another pump me up statement? And to that point, let me add something important. I've mentioned many times, I will continue to bring it up, and it's to avoid the misunderstanding that what I'm talking about today to motivate your team to be their best is not about being raw. I don't want to add any confusion. Being raw might not be immediately clear to everyone, as it's colloquial, and it refers to being overly enthusiastic, a cheerleading tactics that in the end, I think often lack substance. Yeah, if you've got an upbeat personality, fine. Do you need to have energy? Absolutely. Do you need to be on your game and highly motivated yourself? You betcha. But it's not about standing on top of the desk and beating your chest and being all raw. That's from Wolf of Wall Street. That's not a training video. That's a movie. It's a good movie. No, this is about your best practices, your vital behaviors, and how you can improve them. I'm going to give you those tips. And let's all face it, you don't know what you don't know. And to that point, This tactic aims to clarify that the focus is not on empty enthusiasm, but on meaningful strategies that foster unity and inspire purpose within your team. It's all about the purpose. Where are we going and what are we contributing to? What am I a part of? However, the contrast between dismissing raw and promoting strategic team building, it might not be apparent to all. I'm going to clear that up a little bit. This tactic endeavors to shift the focus from being superficial. This is about how to shift that superficial approach, or one that can be determined as one, to motivational techniques that are deeper. They're more strategic. It's a strategic approach to leadership. It's not about surface. What I'm going to share with you stresses the importance of creating a shared sense of purpose and a genuine inspiration, which are key elements for sustainable high performance. If you haven't done, this is a very important thing for you to have as part of your daily dialogue. Now, this is just one of a very long list of other points on how to drive your team for top performance, to want the best for themselves, along with a pretty long list of other points of emphasis that all roll up to your team being their best, and it's all generated by you. Without further explanation of or examples of what these strategies might look like in practice, the message risk being seen as just another inspirational slogan rather than a practical and actionable plan. I want to dig down and make sure you understand that. This is not something we talk about sometimes. It's actually the purpose that you're going to create for your team. And it also highlights the very important need for clear communication in your leadership to ensure that this vision we're going to talk about and the methods that I'm going to share with you not only are understood, but are also embraced and implemented, not just by you, but by your entire team. Because in the end, you want to empower your salespeople with unwavering confidence in their own abilities, in your product, in your company, to achieve success and surpass targets. They must affirm, I demand more from myself, and I'm capable of accomplishing greater things. That's the mindset you want to instill in them. But how do you move beyond just simple directives like, I expect more out of you? Let's delve into the strategies to inspire your salespeople to not only believe in their capacity for excellence, but to strive to surpass their own limits. Your leadership is about reshaping mindsets and cultivating an environment where each team member demands more and aims for greatness. So here's the first of many more steps in achieving your goal of motivating your team to reach their full potential. Let's get back to the vision. What's your vision for the team? Do you have one? Let me give you a step-by-step guide for you to create one, communicate it, and live it. Make it happen. So let's get after it. Effective communication, as always, one of the most important cornerstones of your ability to drive success. They're a reflection of you. Your sales team's performance is a reflection of you. Always embrace that. You got to own it. An effective communication of a vision is crucial for, frankly, any sales leader aiming to inspire and lead a team towards success. And as a sales manager, Your primary challenge is not just to set targets, but to align your team with a sense of purpose and motivation and direction. You need to create a compelling vision that acts as a North Star, guiding your team through challenges and inspiring them to reach higher standards. It's about painting a picture of what the future could look like and making it resonate with everyone that's on your team. So let's talk about crafting a clear and impactful vision. The first step in communicating a compelling vision is to ensure that the vision itself is well crafted. It should be aspirational. That's the utopian part I talked about previously. But it also needs to be achievable. It needs to be clear. And part of what we'll talk about in the future is how to get them committed to it. You first must be committed to it. You've got to walk the talk. So let's sit back. Let's think about the components of coming up with this vision. Start by reflecting on the core values of your organization. Think about the unique strengths of your team. What differentiates your team from others in the company? How can these unique traits be directed towards achieving business goals? Forget about the past, leave it behind. Look ahead. Look ahead to where you would love to go. What will that look like? How will that feel? How will that transform your thinking on a day-to-day basis? Synthesize these thoughts, these elements into a concise statement. That's your goal in all this. This is your vision statement. Get it all boiled down to a concise statement that captures the essence of what you aim to achieve. And remember, a good vision statement should inspire excitement and commitment and serve as a rallying cry for your team. What does a vision statement look like, sound like? Well, let me give you 10 examples. These are just examples. They're limitless as to how many can be crafted, but this may get your thoughts started a little bit. 1, our vision is to be the unstoppable force in sales where innovation meets execution and we consistently outsmart and outsell the competition. Number 2, together, we'll set the standard for excellence in sales, leveraging our unique talents to surpass every target and leave our competitors in the dust. Number 3, we aim to be the elite sales team that others aspire to emulate, dominating our market with unmatched skill, strategy, and dedication. See where I'm heading with all this? Number 4, our mission is to outthink, outperform, and outsell the competition by fostering a culture of creativity, resilience, and relentless pursuit of excellence. Number 5, let's redefine what's possible in sales using our ingenuity and drive to exceed expectations and lead the market with unrivaled success. Number 6, our vision is to be the top performing sales team known for our strategic brilliance and our ability to consistently outmaneuver and outsell the competition. Number 7, we will harness our collective strengths to create extraordinary sales results, setting a new benchmark for success and leaving the competitors far behind. Number 8, together, we will push the boundaries of what's achievable in sales, combining our skills and passion to dominate the market and outperform every rival. Number 9, our goal is to become the sales powerhouse that others can't keep up with, using our innovation and expertise to achieve unmatched success. And wrapping it up with number 10, I hope these have been good starters for you. We strive to be the leading sales team, outshining the competition through our unwavering commitment to excellence, strategic thinking, and superior execution. Those are some good examples. I'm going to give you a couple more as we move through this. But once you get this written, think about it, share it with your boss, share it with a peer, get their thoughts on it, but make it you, and make sure it is something that is aspirational, but also achievable. And this will set the standard of how your team will work every day. Then you have to, once it's built, you have to articulate it, you have to share it. So once your vision is crafted, sharing it, articulating it effectively becomes the next step in this next focus. This requires clear communication that can adjust to various audiences, various situations, whether it's during a team meeting, a one-on-one with one of your sales team, or a large corporate presentation. And it's important to always keep in mind storytelling. Utilize that. Utilize storytelling to make the vision more relatable and engaging. Share personal anecdotes, relevant examples that would illustrate the key elements of that vision. And when you discuss the vision, do it with passion, your passion, not some made up passion, your conviction, your enthusiasm, because it can be contagious. And that contagion from you will significantly influence your team's buy-in. They see your excitement, they're much more likely to get excited about it themselves. So let me further define this a little bit for you. Here's a true story from a real company. I changed the name a little bit, but it's a true story of a visionary leader in action. This is a story about Sarah. And Sarah's a sales director at a successful tech company selling a communication software that utilizes texting to keep customers informed and updated. And you can see in this story how she transformed her team's performance through the power of visionary leadership. Sarah took over as the sales director of this company when it was struggling to stand out in a very crowded field of texting software providers. And the sales team she took over was fairly demotivated. This competition kept punching them in the head. And thus, they were hitting below their targets for 3 consecutive quarters. Thus, the new sales manager. They were stuck in a routine, and they truly lacked any kind of inspiration and certainly direction. Where are we going with this? What are our goals? What's our big North Star? And Sarah, being smart enough, she recognized the need for a shift in their mindset, but she knew the person who had to make that mind shift was her, and she knew it couldn't be legislated. She couldn't just tell them to shift it. She had to go create an environment that shifted it. She had to create an approach and an environment and a culture that shifted that mindset. And so Sarah, first of all, recognized she needed to sit down, and she embarked on a series of one-on-one meetings with her team members, get their thoughts, get their ideas, get their past, get their opinions, because she needed to understand their challenges. More importantly, Sarah, being the smart cookie she is, she wanted to know about their aspirations. Where do they want to go? When you can understand where they want to go in life, where they want to go in career, how much money they want to make, what their future looks like. Do they want to be a sales manager? They want to grow to something else. You need to know that, because it's critical for you not only to know that, but to align that with the company's goals. And Sarah was extremely good at active listening skills. She listened and asked great questions. She was there to gather information, not to preach. She was there to learn, not to teach. So using her very effective listening skills through all these conversations, she crafted a vision and a vision statement that not only helped increase sales figures, but it also redefined the way the customers engaged with their texting software. It changed the mindset of her sales team. And it's a very simple, crafted message, but it was very powerful. One that I can tell you the whole team bought into and lived. And here's the statement: empower every client to maximize their growth by deeply integrating our solution into their daily business operations. Once she had it crafted, during her next sales meeting, Sarah shared a personal anecdote that became the cornerstone of how she communicated her vision. She went back and recounted an early career experience when she was working as a sales representative before she was a sales manager. And she was working for a startup where she, as a sales rep, was managing a very difficult client who was on the verge of churning. By closely integrating her software's analytics feature into the client's sales process, giving them that data, real-time data, they were able to double their lead conversion, and within a few months. It's about solving the client's challenges. That's what we're all in business for. We're not forcing things on our prospects. We're helping to understand what their needs are and how does our solution overcome some of their challenges, their pain points. And this story that Sarah shared, based on the vision she came up with, wasn't just about her success. She didn't make it about her. It illustrated the potential impact that her software, when used to its full potential, perfectly aligned with the vision that her client had. And from that, she started sharing her new vision. And Sarah's enthusiasm, and I watched her do this, it was palatable. Now, again, she wasn't standing up on the desk doing a cheer, but she had energy. She made great eye contact. Her eyes lit up. Her voice carried a certainty of passion that just absolutely filled the room. You could see everybody was engaged in this conversation. During the course of her story and laying out this vision, she used very vivid descriptions and real life successes to paint a picture of what was possible. And her conviction to this vision made the team believe in it. It was not her dream. She needed to make it their dream. That's the first big challenge after you come up with the vision. You've got to make your vision their vision. And as I watched Sarah move through this, she kept the momentum. She introduced several key components to it, like a vision spotlight during team meetings. And in these sessions, team members shared their customer success stories that reflected the vision's impact. She tied the vision back to real life. How was her team tying the two together, aligning? And by using this practice, she not only reinforced the vision, but also celebrated the team's contributions, their success towards achieving it. Reward the behaviors you seek. Think about that. Reward the behaviors you seek. And that Sarah was a master at this, still is a master at this. And her approach, in time, led to a dramatic turnaround in the team's morale, turnover, performance. Well within a year, the team not only started meeting their sales targets, but they started exceeding them by over 25%. Let me tell you, the CEO of that company was thrilled. And from all this hard work, this enthusiasm, this believing that they could achieve whatever they set their minds to achieve, this sales team was able to become the exclusive texting software of the three biggest players in the industry. Three biggest players in the industry became their exclusive software. More importantly, the team's approach to sales, based on Sarah's story, became much more consultative, less tactical, less transactional. They became more strategic, mirroring Sarah's vision. And all this underscores how effective leadership, your effective leadership, when centered around a compelling vision, can motivate a team to achieve greatness beyond ordinary sales targets. Now, how do you integrate this vision into daily operations? Good question. Let me answer that for you. Paying attention to Sarah's story, you could see that she communicated her vision not to be just a one-time event. See, that is where most visions, these exercises, were dead at the start. It was a one-time event. You've got to be committed to it long term. Not only committed to it, but communicating around it long term, daily, if not more often. It needs to be woven into the fabric of the daily operations and the team interactions. Sustained. You must reinforce the vision by linking it to specific objectives and key results. During one-on-one, she would use her vision as a thank you, a specific thank you to the result that she was speaking to her team about. Another example, during sales meetings, you can relate strategies and agenda back to the vision. Make it part of every meeting. Talk about the demonstrations you've seen on how day-to-day activities have contributed to the broader goals. You need to recognize and celebrate achievements that align with this vision to reinforce its relevance and keep it in front and center in all your team's mind. Create visual reminders and post them. It could be stenciling the wall. It could be banners. It could be put into signature boxes. You could have them printed on different reports that are generated through your CRM or your, I think there's a million ways to just subtly place it out there so everybody's seeing it. But most importantly, it's got to be coming from the words that you use, the situations you're in, and tying it back to this vision. And another thing that don't skip is the utilization of feedback to strengthen your vision, engage your team in the vision. As I often say, always say, what always will say, effective communication is a two-way street. That is so misunderstood. It's one of the biggest missteps sales managers in general, leaders in general, but sales managers in this case, it's one of the big key steps, approaches, best practices that sales managers make. They do not make it a two-way street. They talk very much in a one-way manner. And you're going to have to make sure you're following the 80-20 rule. You do 20% of the talk and they do 80%. You have to ask a lot of good questions and encourage feedback from your team. Encourage feedback about the vision for sure and how it's impacting their life. Why do you do that? So that they see what this vision is and how it's in reality coming to life. You're lining it up with what their aspirations are and what the vision is. And it, in a byproduct, helps making your team feel valued and listened to. It also provides them with insights on how well the vision is being embraced. And any areas that might need adjustment, you're going to listen to that. That's part of your feedback. And adapt your strategies based on this feedback so that you make sure that the vision remains relevant and motivating, up to date, realistic. After it's posted, it's communicating you have to have continuous reinforcement and adaptation. Lastly, a vision should evolve as the business environment and your team changes. Nothing changes, the vision doesn't have to change, but that's pretty rare in companies. Things are always changing and updating. The landscape is constantly flowing. Regularly feel free to revisit and revise, not monthly, maybe annually, maybe every couple years. But it's not set in stone. Have to carve the 10 Commandments. Keep it fresh, keep it aligned with whatever contextually the current environment is, and continue to communicate any of these changes, get buy-in on any of these changes, but make sure clearly everybody understands it, is bought into it, so that you're effectively ensuring that your team always has a clear understanding of where they're headed and why, how it involves the client. And remember, the ultimate goal is to keep the team aligned, motivated, and pushing towards new heights.